Why, hello there. A nice to here. I do hope this video finds you well, and this is a simple one. This is just the summary of a knife I have done a full review on, the Shirogorov Quantum. This is the Gen 2? I don't remember which gen this is. You'll have to watch the full review for that. I talk more about it in depth in there, and I will link that down in the description. As this is a summary, we're just going to touch on some quick little things, and it's mostly just to showcase and talk about the overall knife. If you don't want to watch the full review, this is a good place to stop to see just the general important notes. You've got a little over 3 3/4 inches of blade to the front. To the actual stop of the blade edge, you've got pretty much a full 4 inches. Yet, it is not 9 inches overall. It is 8 7/8. It is definitely a large knife, but it really feels kind of like a full-size knife in practice. It's thin, it's light, it's balanced. It really just wants to be used and go, right? This is just a really good feeling tool. What are we actually looking at in this case? We're looking at, I don't know if you call that a stonewash or a blasting. It's got reflectivity, but it's just nice to look at. Very good working kind of finish, but with a little bit of pizzazz. The blade steel is in M390. It is ultra thin behind the edge, and I will say this M390 has held this edge beautifully. I've had this for years now, and I mean, I don't carry it all the time, but I do carry it more often than a lot of other knives at this particular price point, which is expensive. We'll get there. But it's held this edge pretty well. The plunge grind does come to the edge, which isn't ideal, but it comes down, it sort of drops straight down, and the edge goes all the way back to it. It's sort of a design element of the Shirogorov. You're maximizing the edge potential, and you've got a very defined plunge. And your stop pin is up here, so you can always cut in a choro once you actually do get the sharpening. But as I said, unless you're really hard using this thing, the M390 here is performed pretty darn fantastically, and it's thin enough that it just cuts. It's pretty great. There is some jimping here. It is It is pretty much just for show. It doesn't really do much of anything. I guess if you're in gloves, it probably would, but it's fine. You're definitely locked in without needing that jimping there. So there is a, I don't know, would you call that a fuller in the blade? Not kind of, slightly. That is also just for show. I believe there are some where this is completely knocked out, and you probably could reverse select them, but this one is bowled out and softened. So that dog is interested in something. Bowled out and softened enough that you really can't get in there because it's got a good detent on it, and being up that high really just kind of locks you in. Can't really use that, so it is a flipper-only knife. Hold on just a moment. Man, I just started and he's already going. Hasn't been barking all day. Little turd. He's a terrible little dog. He really is. You've got a... Well, I guess that's a straight back. I mean, it's dropping, but it is a straight back blade, realistically. So, yeah. But despite actually being straight, you can very much get to that tip. Very useful. Blade shape, honestly, because the belly is so spread out and it's a long sort of point. Good access. Gets a bit thicker at the tip for some strength. Very nice design. This is on a multi-row bearing system, as all proper full-on Quantums are, though I think there are also somewhat roller bearings and needle bearing versions for like custom divisions and some of the really higher end ones. Yeah. Flipper-only knife, again, jimping on the flipper, not really doing much, but the flipper tab itself is shaped good, though I will say I had... Actually, this is the second one of these I had. The first one I had such a strong detent, and just the slightest pressure on it made it almost completely lock you out. And this flipper tab is a little bit sharp at the tip. Like, it's pokey. It's pointy. It could have been rounded down a little bit more. The first one that I had, when you really put pressure on it and you went to flip this thing, it locked you out so hard that I ended up actually tearing my finger open the first time I tried to use it. I sent that one back, believe it or not. Yes, Shirogorov got sent back. This one, however, has a really great detent, and it's not quite as sharp as that one was, and it's, for some reason, whatever reason, I guess maybe because the detent itself is lighter, it's, like, I mean, it's perfect, don't misunderstand me, but the other one was just, it was too much. It was crazy. I don't know why. I just had issues with that particular knife. And I spoke to the people who sold it, and it was like, they're like, this thing seems to be working fine for our people. And I'm like, oh, I'm just an idiot then. So, this is the second one, technically. Full titanium, milled to absolute high heavens for these actual handle scales. As you can see, it's milled, it's differentially finished. It looks like a very sort of reflective light tumbling here with maybe some deep blasting or heavy stonewash in the recesses. The Bear logo, as always, looking out good. It does run like most, or like as far as I know, all Shirogorovs on proprietary hardware, which is a bit of a bummer. I really kind of hope they would not do this, mostly because their proprietary hardware, aside from the fact that, yeah, sure, you can adjust it with, I suppose, a really thick, big flathead screwdriver. But you're always going to mess up the edges and everything like that. They have a proprietary tool, but that thing is expensive. And, I mean, not expensive compared to the knives, as I suppose it fits right in. But, it just seems a bit unnecessary to still be using proprietary hardware and not just at least include the tool. Doesn't have to be, like, the ultimate quality titanium super ultra $200 version of the tool, but I'd like to see the tool with this thing. And all Shirogorovs, really. The one thing I will say, however, which sort of invalidates my own point, is I've never adjusted this. It is centered. There is no play. I've had this thing for 4 years? Yeah, something like that. I flipped it. I've carried it. I've used it. It hasn't budged. It's solid as a rock. And as you can see, the way they did this, and I think part of the reason why it's so solid as a rock is because the internal of the scales rises up to meet the blade tang, completely encapsulating the bearings, which is good because I think, if I remember correctly, Shirogorov has loose multi-row bearings typically in their blades, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But I've never had to interact with them, so I'm not going to complain too much. Standard frame lock with a lock bar insert. Again, beautiful milling. Beautifully finished. It's really wonderful. Yeah, you don't have a ton of lock bar sticking out, but I mean, yeah, you get in there, no problem whatsoever in this thing. Yeah, it's a Shirogorov. You're paying for really, 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 really good quality. That is undeniable, though they are probably a bit too expensive, but you are getting some really good stuff here. Geared backspacer, hidden lanyard post. Very interesting clip. There's a cutout for the lock bar. I guess that increases the amount of, helps them dial in the tension probably for the lock bar by relieving that cut or making it wider. I don't know. It looks interesting. The clip sits actually on the upper part of the frame because it only actually contacts right here, which is interesting. The clip is a little tight, but good retention. It does work. I will say, yeah, it is a bit tight to get in there. I kind of wish maybe it's just a little thinner at the tip here, so it was up so that angle was up a little bit higher. I mean, it could make it pointy and everything, but I feel like there's a way to do that where it could be improved. Just a little bit. Not that it's bad. Let's put it in the pocket. Yeah, it's just a bit tight. But not terrible. You get used to it. And I mean, honestly, this thing is just, as I said, it's kind of a knife that, yeah, it's super expensive, and a lot of people would say, well, why would you buy this? And even if you are going to buy this, how would you use this? This is a knife that just feels like it wants to be used. It feels like it wants to be carried. It feels like it wants to go. It does. It's very attractive. It's sleek, thin, nice, just good. But not something that I just want to sit into my knife case and occasionally look at. This does make it in the pocket, and as I said, more frequently than quite a few other knives that are in a similar category, and even cheaper, honestly. I will say that the action is not the drop shut that you expect from Shirogorov, the slow, controlled, beautiful drop shut. It's a bit tight. From what I've heard, most Quantums seem to be like that. They are a shake shut knife. There is a detent ramp. And, I mean, yeah, it's beautifully smooth, but it is not the drop shut Shiro. I still want to get a different Shiro in, and honestly, you can kind of feel the bearings just a tiny bit, occasionally. You really have to try, but they're kind of there. Kind of. It's still beautiful action, and it's still a gorgeous knife, but I definitely want to get another Shirogorov, like a more standard one, like maybe an F3 or an F95, and experience the other end of the Shirogorov action. But those require money, and at the moment, I do not have that. So hopefully there will come a day, if I continue this channel, where I have some viewers, and this thing actually helps me continue my own collecting, or give me the opportunity to experience new things. I would very much appreciate that, and like that, if that were to ever come about. But even if it doesn't, well, I'm gonna do this until I feel like I don't want to anymore, right? So that pretty much wraps things up for here. Shirogorov Quantum is expensive. It's a $1,200 knife. There is cheaper ones. The Ursus is like 600 and some 675, and I think there's a newer version, the one in my Carta scale that came out. That might be even cheaper. So I mean, you have some options if you want to experience a Shirogorov that are, I mean, they're not inexpensive, but they are much more attainable than the usual $1,000 that you're paying for one. However, I fully understand that this is not something that most people would be even considering, and I'm probably crazy for doing it myself. And that's okay, because I enjoy it. And I've gotten a considerable amount of joy out of this knife, so I'm very happy with it. I don't think this one will ever go anywhere in my collection. And, yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed taking a look at some of the excellence of the Shirogorov Quantum. That will end things here for me. I will see you guys in the next one. Consider liking and subscribing. That'll come up on the screen, and a video that maybe you could click on to give it some views. Greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate your time. Have a great day. And I'll see you guys in the next one.